I think it's definitely time that legendary star cards return to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and a lot of you probably will be thinking, because the player base has grown quite a bit recently, you will be thinking legendary star cards have never ever existed in Battlefront 2, and that is where you are wrong. Currently, the ranking system in the game for star cards is common, which is white, then uncommon, which is green, rare, which is blue, and then epic, which is purple. And then the skin system is very similar as well, except they do have legendary skins with like an orangey colour representing that, and then there's also the award skins, which are completely different and they're just limited time, but they've got a yellow colour. But in the pre-alpha for Star Wars Battlefront 2, which we're going back to the time period of around June, July 2017, so it's like 2.5 years ago, there were actually legendary star cards originally supposed to be in Battlefront 2, and I think there's a very important reason as to why these should return. I'll get that reason out here straight away because it kind of reinforces the rest of the video, and that's for this current progression system, which as it currently works doesn't really have any rewards in there, and I feel this is a really important addition that could change the tides of that. So there's a few things to consider here. Obviously, when this game was being made and it was in the pre-alpha state back in midway through 2017 really, it was being built as a pay-to-win game, although some people who were clearly working on the game maybe didn't see it that way. That's how it was being built, and the legendary star cards were a bit different. If you go back to the crate system with Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I'm sure all of you are aware of, but basically where you'd open crates with crystals or money that you earn in-game, crystals obviously being the currency that you have to pay real life money for, and you'd buy crates and you could get like crafting parts where you could make your own star card or buy the one you want technically if you're not lucky enough to get it in a crate, or you could basically unlock random cards inside these crates and you'd be able to get the common, uncommon, rare and epic. Now you could also craft these cards, like I said, with crafting parts. So could someone just spend loads of money on the game and go from common cards to legendary cards? It didn't actually work like that. These things were only available in crates. You couldn't use crafting parts for them, so they always were at EA and DICE a bit maybe suspicious about if these would be a bit too much, so you couldn't craft them, you couldn't make them, you had to be lucky enough to get them in crates. Now crates don't exist anymore in this game, not even the daily crates, and I'm definitely not saying bring back legendary cards that you can buy with real life money. That's not what I mean at all. I don't even feel to an extent that they would work for the lower class levels. I believe these should be the biggest of the biggest in this game. So back when this game was in its pre-alpha state, I think we only ever saw legendary star cards for, in terms of heroes, Rey, Darth Maul, Han Solo and Boba Fett. So the other heroes may have never even got to the point where cards were made for them in terms of the legendary status. Heroes like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Dooku, Grievous definitely never got to that stage. They weren't even in the game, and all these new reinforcements as well. But take the current star cards in the game right now, give them another level, give them the orangey colour just like it was in the pre-alpha and how the skins have the orangey colour for legendary, but lock them in terms of you can't use skill points to upgrade them, you get them for hitting levels. So now let's take a random hero, Anakin Skywalker, because everybody's got high level Anakins because of how good he is in the game. Now the max level is 1000 for anything in the game, any class, any reinforcement, any hero, it's level 1000, and what do you get for hitting level 1000? You just get max. And really, what's the difference between a level 40 player and a level 900 player at this point? So you could start off with maybe not the greatest cards in terms of Anakin. Maybe for hitting level 200 you'd get a legendary card for his force pull, which would obviously just add on a bit more to whatever the current stats are for those star cards. I suppose a good example actually is Darth Maul's chokehold and how he has a card that allows you to throw it even further. Well, all a legendary version of that card would do would allow you to throw the enemies even further than you already can. But you don't want it where it's OP and everyone has them, and even to the extent of them being OP, I don't feel star cards have that big of an impact in this game at all. If you've got a really good player and then you've got a player who joined yesterday and doesn't know how to play the game, the really good player without star cards can still top that new player who maybe played for a week at this point. maybe has some rare cards, maybe some epic cards, I still feel like the more experienced player has the upper hand. And level 100 could introduce a new card, and by the time you get to level 1000 you will have got to the point where for each level there is a new legendary card unlockable. I say this because I don't think skins are likely, especially a good amount of skins for every single hero. So we're probably never going to get that many skins that we can unlock and have one for like each 100 levels. But think about it, every hero, for example, let's focus on heroes, which is the main focus I suppose, because they are the most popular things in the game, but this could work for the classes, for the reinforcements, for the ships. But every hero has 9 star cards, so that could be a new legendary star card every time you get a level 100, and maybe save the best ones to last till that level 1000. For level 1000 you could save the cards such as adding more health regeneration or adding more base health in general, or the abilities that really are good in the game like Anakin's Heroic Might for example, Luke's Force Push. Save those legendary star cards until the level 800, 900 slots, so when you reach that level 900 you get a new legendary card. And also imagine the fact as well, when you get killed by someone and you see they've got the legendary cards that they can only get by acquiring a certain level, it would make you want to rank up a lot more as well. When I've got a bit of free time, I don't really spend that time thinking like I want to get to this certain level with a certain hero or a certain class in Battlefront 2. Ships aside and vehicles aside, I've pretty much got everything, or yes, I have got everything apart from the ships and the vehicles, at a level where every single star card is epic. So really there's no reason for me to want to upgrade other than the fact of saying I've got 900 levels on this, but that's never going to happen for me. Maybe it would happen if I had something to work towards. Personally, if I say to someone, look, I've got a level 800 officer, then the first thing they say is, well, that's just really sad, why did you do that? Because there was nothing to work towards. And while I don't think it's necessarily sad that someone has these really high level things in the game, like at the same time you've spent all that effort for nothing really. So I get it, people enjoy the game, they have every right to spend as long as they want on it, but I can also understand why someone would just call someone else sad for having that amount of levels. And it's not me calling anyone sad, but it's total sense really that why would you spend so long earning something for nothing? I think when you look at it all in all, imagine being able to say, I've got a level 1000 Finn, let's just go with another random hero, a level 1000 Finn, and I've got every single legendary star card for level 1000 Finn. The only way you can do it by getting to level 1000, and then imagine saying in the current state with this game, I've got a level 1000 Finn, what have I got really? 1000 level max next to my name. I've got no extra star cards than a level 40 player. I've not really got anything, maybe a bit more experience, but experience, is it really worth showing off? Not really. Are legendary star cards worth showing off? Of course they are. And it's like with the skins as well, I'm totally for skins being able to be bought via crystals, but when you see someone with a legendary skin, there's always that possibility that they could have essentially just bought crystals to acquire that. But if you see someone with legendary star cards, knowing that the only way they've achieved that is by playing the game and hitting the high ranks, then I feel there's a lot more pride and accomplishment to that, and we know EA love pride and accomplishment. So I will leave it there. It's a very big change. I'm surprised I've never spoken about this before because it just seemed obvious really. Everyone's attention is on skins, and while I don't feel that is as much of a possibility because that's a lot of skins for to put like 20 heroes, 22 with the droids, I just don't feel that's going to happen. Star cards, a lot quicker, a lot easier to make, and a lot more impact on the gameplay, but at the same time, I feel if you're experienced, you'll be able to cope with it, and no one's going to be too OP. Do you ever look at someone with epic star cards and believe they're too OP on the Battlefront? Anything can be handled if you really put your mind to it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed, and I shall see you all next time.